All right, so the new GPT store from OpenAI should be released any hour, any day now. So before you go out and start, maybe purchasing GPTs from just about anyone, let me first tell you and show you a very simple way that you can build one on your own. All right, so we're actually going to get this started live. And then I'm going to hit rewind a little bit and tell you a little bit more about what we're doing. So I have a message here that I'm going to paste in, and this is going to start to build because I like to do these live. All right. So now let's jump in. I'll tell you a little bit more about what we have going on here. So my name is Jordan Wilson. I'm the host of Everyday AI. If you're new here, Everyday AI is a daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter helping people learn and leverage generative AI. So if this is video is helpful, please subscribe to this channel, but also go to youreverydayai.com and subscribe to the free daily newsletter. All right, so let's check in. So what we're doing here is we are using the custom GPT builder to build ourselves a GPT. So if you haven't heard of this before, a GPT is essentially a custom version of ChatGPT that you can build for yourself. You do need the paid plan of ChatGPT, which is $20 a month. So as this is building and finishing, let's actually go in and show you how you do this from the start. So you will, let me just hit refresh here. So you will click this explore button, and then you're going to click create a GPT. All right. So this is literally the starting screen, and I just pasted a long message in there, but it's essentially telling you, and it gives you steps. So that's what the GPT builder is. It step by step helps you build no code, essentially any GPT builder or any GPT that can, help you better accomplish your work. All right, so now let's jump back in and finish this GPT, and I'll kind of explain what I'm doing. So I essentially typed a long message that told ChatGPT or told the GPT builder a little bit about myself, and I wanted to create a GPT for me to help better plan my podcast. So we have a daily podcast. I usually spend, depending on the guest, anywhere from 10 minutes to 60 minutes planning and prepping for a guest. And I actually have a chat inside ChatGPT with plugins that helps me do this. However, ChatGPT at some point may be phasing out plugins. So I want to start doing this with the GPT builder. So all I did is I essentially pasted this long kind of prompt to ChatGPT, telling it exactly what I wanted it to do. Now it's going to start asking me some questions. Let's go ahead and quickly answer those. So it's asking me for a name. I'm just saying, yep, that's perfect. That name works. All right. So now you see every time that I give it more information, it is building this live. So you can see now it's generating a profile picture. It's naming the bot, right? And then I'm going to show you once it's done some tweaks that we can make to use this bot. So in the end, anyone can use this, right? I can make this public and give this access to anyone. But for now, I just want to use this by myself. So you'll see right now, it gave it a nice little, podcast cover art made by Dolly. And now I can go in and make some updates to it. So I'm just going to say, looks good. So it's asking me if I like this design or if I would like to make changes to it. All right, so now it's asking me, can you tell me more about the types of guests? So I'm gonna go through this quickly. So I'm gonna say guests are from all ranges of the work world. I'm gonna say they all either use Gen AI or are building it. All right. Again, I'll probably go in and make a more detailed version of this later, but I wanted to try to get through this in 5 to 10 minutes, as quickly as possible. So again, it's updating this GPT. My goal here is just to quickly show you how this can be used, and especially given some of these some of these instructions that I'm giving it. So essentially, when you're building a GPT, there's two parts. There's the create tab, which is kind of that back and forth conversation that you're having. I know it's kind of meta, but you're having a conversation with GPT to help you build a GPT. And then once we're kind of done going through the step-by-step guided walkthrough, we'll jump into configure and then we'll try it out. So now it's saying what should be emphasized or avoided in the content. So I'm going to say, let's make sure the questions and content are helpful and specific to the everyday person who is an AI enthusiast. All right, so we'll just say that. We'll keep it general because, again, for this is just an example. I just want to show you on the front end how this works and some of the specific ways that we're going to be using Browse with Bing to really hopefully make this an impactful GPT, but also to explain to you how you can use this for your business, right? All right, so I'm going to say neutral tone. All right, you can obviously go in and give this very specific directions. So I'm just going through and giving it some kind of general feedback, general guidance. So once we're done, we're going to test this out, and then I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use this GPT builder. So essentially what we're doing here is this is a task that I'm doing almost every day. And so when you think about building a GPT, don't just go into the GPT store once it's launched and find the most popular GPTs and buy them or try them. Instead, think of the manual work that you do every single day. This is an example for me with a daily podcast and live stream. Every single day, I'm usually doing some amount of guest research. So this doesn't have to completely replace myself, right? But I want to get it from myself taking 10 minutes to an hour and maybe getting I want to be able to do this in 30 seconds to 5 minutes by using this GPT and maybe get me to a B plus. So I want it to be able to kind of really just kick off and do maybe 80% of the manual searching for me. And then I'm going to come in and really help drive it home. So last but not least, it says first, feel free. Okay, so it looks like it is done. What would you like to try first? So we're going to be done with that. So let's go ahead and jump into configure. So a lot of people skip over this step, and it's important because in the end, all that's really, the only thing really driving this GPT is whatever ends up in the instructions tab, okay? Because when you're using it on the front end, kind of the content of this create and everything I told it, nothing really matters except what ultimately ends up in the configure tab. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. You can put in these conversation starters. These are what shows up right here. So you don't even need those. You can customize them a little bit. But the one thing I want to go through and go down here, I want to enable a code interpreter. So these are all the capabilities that this GPT will have on the front end. So it'll be able to browse. It'll be able to have DALL-E. So maybe I wanted with each different episode, I wanted cover art, right? I didn't ask for that, but if I wanted to, I could go in here and say for each episode, create a suggested cover art with DALL-E. That's not what I'm asking for though. All right, so it is done. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click save. And for now, I'm just going to say only me, and I'm going to click confirm. All right. Well, whoops. I got to add in the GPT name. So this is Podcast Planner. All right. I'm going to click save. I'm going to make sure it's right now only me. Click confirm. All right. And we're done. So now I'm going to go back here. Couple just test bots that I make and then delete once I'm done. So here we go. Here is my podcast planner. All right. So what I'm going to do is I had a show today, right? So the show today, let's see if it's already up on the website. Bam, look at that. It's already up on the website. Perfect. So here is the show we had today with Glenn Pendley from Tenable. So I'm going to go in. I just copied this. I'm going to go into now my podcast planner GPT. I'm going to say, here's the title of my podcast. That's not it. Let me go ahead and copy that one more time. I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to say, I've attached more info about Glenn, my guest. So I'm going to go ahead. I just saved, some basic information here that I have guests fill out. So essentially, this process, again, would normally take me anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. So essentially, I'm giving this GPT that I built, this podcast planner GPT, the name of the episode and some more information about my guests. And then the custom instructions I gave it, it's going to go through, it's going to do the research for me like I told it to. Now it's going to give me some questions. It should be giving me questions by category. So let's go ahead. And then I also asked it in the instructions or in the creation phase of this bot, I told it to give me different ways to market or promote each podcast. So Here we go. Here's the different kind of questions by category it's doing for me. So this right here, it's already saving me so much time. All right. So we're going to let this finish out, but let me again remind you of what I think you should be using GPTs for. So again, the store is going to come out here in a couple of days and everyone's going to rush to start buying and trying different GPTs. Well, yes, I get it. That's, fun and probably a little bit like a little tempting. Like I would instead encourage you to start with the most manual, time consuming things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Make a simple GPT first, like I just did. I spent 5 minutes on this, not even, right? Uh, Obviously, I would go in and fine tune this a little bit more, but it's so much better to look at your daily tasks that you do each day. Create a basic GPT, try using it, then go back and update it, fine tune it, make it a little bit better. So I hope this was helpful. And let's actually look. Let's actually look a little bit. So it did a really good job here. So it gave me all the different questions. So this really cut my research time down significantly. All right. So like I said, I hope this was helpful. And if so, please go to your everyday AI. Please go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for that free daily newsletter, and we'll see you back for another AI in 5-ish. Thanks, y'all.